Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to the Pals Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Liorti. And this was my first episode back doing the pod solo. Not going to lie, I was insanely nervous. And just to give you guys a little bit of idea, I'm going to be doing quick little intros before every episode, give you a little rundown who the guest was, what they do, maybe highlight any things happening in the world, maybe like a 3 or 4 minute intro every single time, so you guys know what to expect in the episode. If you don't like listening to it, then you can skip it. If it sounds interesting, then you can listen to the whole thing. But this week we had Stacey Ryan on. She is dubbed the queen of jazz talk. She blew up on TikTok a little while ago when she did an open verse challenge to one of her songs, and it literally went mega viral. It's called "Don't Text Me When You're Drunk." It got released. She's been doing some amazing things. She had a residency in the States at Sunrose in LA. She's currently on the Peace, Love, and Pluto tour with Jake Wesley Rogers. She was just in Toronto last week for that, which was super cool. I actually didn't get to attend the show. I was tied up, but she was literally amazing. She had a long day of promo too. She was like, my contact at Universal told me that she was just like running on 2 hours of sleep, and she still came in there, brought the energy. Her personality was amazing. She's such a lovely person. To be honest, I actually probably sucked in that episode because I was nervous. It was the first time I was doing a podcast solo, knowing I was doing it solo. Like, I was having technical difficulties. If you watch on YouTube, like, I apologize in advance. I'm like half in the shot. I was nervous. I was setting up by myself. I kind of just sucked. It's a nightmare, but it's part of the whole the story in the show with me. It is what it is. But she was great. She's actually playing in a festival in Spain, mad cool festival in Spain. She was on the James Corden show. I didn't even get to talk to her about that, but that was super cool too. We ended up chatting a lot about TikTok and like social media because a lot of her career success is from that viral moment, and it's cool to just talk about that. She got like 1.5 million followers on TikTok. She does like millions of monthly listeners on Spotify. She's got a bunch of new stuff happening. The tour is really cool. She toured in North America right now, like I said, with Jake Wesley Rogers. Then she's touring in the spring, summer in Europe. She's got like a 2-3 week gap. So she's really excited, and she was honestly a little bundle of fun. So Stacey, I apologize for not being my best version of me. Usually I'm really good at this. I was a little bit nervous, if you could tell. If you couldn't, I don't know. But I appreciate you. Thank you for being so amazing. And to the listeners, sorry. If you're going to listen, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Share this with your friends. Follow us along at the Pals Podcast on all socials. If you want to follow me at your pal Rick. And other than that, let's jump right into this. Let's go. At our old studio.
Why did I not know this?
This is our first time actually recording. I keep saying we because I used to do this with my buddy.
Right.
I guess I now.
George.
George. This is the first time we've done it here. Or I've done it. I guess me and you now.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a studio, and we'd bring people like after a full day of media, and we'd literally, I don't want to say turn up because it might get the Universal people in trouble, but we used to
have a good time.
We used to drink.
That sounds so fun.
We used to drink. And it's nice because you have a full day of doing this, right? You've been like, okay, tell us about the new single.
Yeah, and now you're like, I need a drink.
Literally. Yeah. I remember, who was it? Oh, you weren't there. Do you know New Hope Club?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so they came on the pod, and they had a full, they were just here for promo, no tour, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They sat down, one guy, we're like, here's a bottle of vodka, like pour however much you want.
Oh, a vodka.
I think he poured like a third of the glass of vodka. Ugh. I don't want to say who, just in case he listens and I get him in trouble or something. But yeah, it was crazy. What's your go-to drink?
Gin tonic.
Gin and tonic?
Yeah.
Really? Or I feel like it's a Montreal thing though.
Maybe. I really like a good IPA.
Okay, what's your favorite one?
I really like, let's see. There's a couple from some local breweries like in my town where I'm from.
You're just outside Montreal, right?
Yeah, Vaudreuil, Dorion. I don't know if anyone knows where that is, but there's this one in LA. I don't know if it's LA based, but it's called Elysian Space Dust. It's a good hazy
Where
IPA.
In LA?
I'm just in like North Hollywood,
okay,
but like
cool.
I don't know if the brewery
ago.
is there. But like that's one that I feel like I only see in LA is Elysian Space Dust, and it's great.
Is that part? Wait, what's your rider?
I do have a bottle of gin with tonic on my rider, but as an opener, you don't really tend to get a rider. Because, like, I mean, you could put it into the budget, but, like, there are many other important things you could spend it on while you're opening a tour. But when I do my own shows, gin and tonic is on the rider for sure. With, like, chips and salsa. Like,
what
my
kind
favorite.
Of chips?
Tostitos.
Yeah, okay.
The best.
I was sorry, if I was a musician, what would my rider be? I'd have the most ridiculous rider.
I mean, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Well, you were playing a bunch in LA, right? The Sunrose?
Yeah, I did a residency.
How was that?
In January. It was fire.
Three shows a week, right?
3 shows once a week for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay,
so like 3 Thursdays in a row.
Okay.
I played, and it was cool because like the shows just kept like getting bigger and bigger. Like I feel like at each show we were like more people than the last one. And it was just awesome. I had never done something like that.
That's awesome. I was in LA a couple weeks ago, and I basically spent most of my time in West Hollywood.
West Hollywood's cool.
Yeah, it's like there's funky shows there. Actually, one of the Universal people was playing out there while I was there. Asia, can't remember her name, but she was out there while I was out there. She like messaged me, she said, "Come to the show." I was like, "Oh, it's tough because there's so much." Maybe she's not with Universal then. Whoops.
I mean, Universal is such a giant. Like, there's so many people.
Okay. And how long have you been with Universal for?
I signed with Island in February of last year.
Okay. So, like, kind of near the ending of COVID.
I don't mean, has it really ever ended?
To me, it's
all I know is that it was February. So, it's been like a year since a little bit over a year now, but a year since I signed.
I wanted to ask, and it's nice that I get to, so I do a little bit of TikTok on the side, too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a TikToker. But I wanted to ask, what was the feeling when you first, like that first viral moment for you?
I mean, it depends because there was like my first ever like sort of viral video, which like that means my first video to get over like
actually, what do you consider?
views.
I was just gonna say, what do you consider viral?
I took a shot of gin when my first video hit 50,000 views. Not my first video, when the first of my videos hit 50,000 views. I was like, this is big. This is
What was
huge.
it? Which one was it?
It's so funny. I had just started like using a sound interface and plugging like a mic in and like trying to make good quality sounding videos. And this video that I think it ended up getting like 500,000 views at the end of its prime, was me sitting in my closet at 3 a.m. singing "If I Ain't Got You" to like a karaoke backing track playing off my iPad. And I was like whispering because it was 3 a.m. And
you didn't want to piss off your parents.
I didn't like my sister's room. Like our rooms are connected by like the closet wall. So she like if her closet door's open, like she could definitely hear me. And that's the video that like kind of goes viral. And it's like I'm not like mad. It's just funny that like I spent all this time on these good sounding. Well, they're not good sounding, but like what I thought was good.
Yeah, you tried
sounding.
hard.
I tried my best.
This one's gonna go viral. 5,000 views.
Yeah.
Some random one in your closet.
Yeah.
100,000 or whatever.
And that was like the first time I was like, this is cool. And I remember the first video to hit 1 million was a riff medley that I created because there was like a bunch of riffs that were trending on TikTok, you know, like the one from Burlesque with Christina Aguilera and like of course a bunch of Beyonce riffs, Tori Kelly. So I like compiled them all into like one giant like medley where they basically never stopped. The riffs just all flowed into each other. And I remember like people started like doing the challenge that I had made. And that video got over 1 million views and I was like, this is crazy. My first video to ever hit 1 million. Like,
for anyone who says it's not cool to have a video go viral, like I know people say, oh, it's whatever, blah, blah.
Nah,
no.
it's cool.
It's cool.
It feels really great.
It's an insane feeling.
Yeah.
Like when you do 1 million or something, what's your biggest one?
My biggest one is, let me get the facts right.
Pulling up the facts.
This microphone is making Face ID not work. The biggest video was me duetting Zai, who is on Don't Text Me When You're Drunk, because he duetted my video.
So it's like the 3, right?
Correct, yeah. So that has 24.8 million views.
Yeah. When you have one of those, it's just wild.
It was so...
Like every time you open your phone, it's 99 plus.
All the time. Like I remember during that moment, like during that time with the open verse challenge, and I was getting tagged in videos and comments, and like I would clear my notifications, so it would go back to 0, and it would be back at 99 within like...
By the time you like literally finish scrolling. You like scroll one video, boom, 99.
Yeah, basically. Wow. It was like I had never seen that before, and I'm like, this is so wild. And it took a long time to like go down, which like I was just kind of like, again, I didn't really have too many expectations going into this because I didn't want to be like, oh, it's going to be viral for 3 weeks and stay at the top and keep getting the amounts of views that it's getting, because I just was like riding the high of this moment that I didn't even expect would happen. And it was great. I remember like feeling it was cool. I remember being like, this is really cool. Like, I'm enjoying this moment. And then all of a sudden it felt, yeah. Oh, my parents were looking on their own accord. Like they were so involved. They were so excited that this was happening. And it didn't feel like anything had really changed until I started getting like hit up by like major record labels in my email inbox. They're like, hey, this is so-and-so from Republic Records. And I was like, my brain just did not compute. I was like, I forwarded them all to my manager, and I was like, let's do something about this. And within like a month, I was signed.
It's actually crazy the power of TikTok now.
It is
like
crazy.
You see like so many artists and like yourself. One video can literally change your life.
That's what happened to me.
And it's like so many times you see things. And then you have some like the old school people say, I'm not getting on TikTok. I'm not getting on. Okay, well, you've made it. You've had your time.
Right.
Now it's like so many songs are going off. What was a Fleetwood Mac one last year?
Dreams.
Was that the one with the skateboarder?
The cranberry juice. Yeah.
That song hit like I think cracked the top 10 Billboard.
Yeah,
randomly,
like 40, like 50 years, or it came out in the 70s. I don't know. I think TikTok is awesome that way, that it brings back and has a chance for people who may never like be discovered to have a shot. But at the same time, I feel like the music industry has changed so much that now if you're not promoting your music on TikTok, what are you doing?
How are you promoting it?
Exactly.
Like who's still putting up posters on like old buildings
exactly.
and stuff?
So I feel like now it feels that it's become a pivotal part of like any artist's career. You know, like I see people saying, like putting a video up and saying my label won't let me release the song until I have this many pre-saves or until I go viral on TikTok.
Do you think that's fake?
So I think a lot of that is like scripted a lot of the time because it's marketing techniques. Like I see the back end. I see what ideas get thrown around, like hey, this worked for this person, why don't we do it? And some of these ideas are great. Like I think they're cool. They're like quirky and different. But it's also like something I try to do a lot is stay true to what I would normally do. And like, I just want people to not lose sight of like who I was coming into this. And like me, especially, like, I don't want to lose sight of myself and like what rings true to me. So like, I just want to keep like, I guess be as authentic as possible and not like
sell out.
I guess if you want to put it, if you want to say, I don't know a better word.
Yeah.
So.
It's tough because you see what works, you see the trends, and you see this, and like I do it on a very small scale. And funny enough, you mentioned how like your parents were watching. My dad was the first person to text me when I hit 200K.
That's so cute.
He's just like, "Congrats on 200K." I was like, "You're even on TikTok? Like, what?" But it's so funny because you follow the trends, and it's like, "Oh, do this," because you know you can get a quick like viral video.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see, remember the stupid boat one with the Titanic song?
Yeah, and they're just in this tiny little green screen boat.
It's
yeah.
like, oh. It's like, fuck, okay, you kind of, do you do it and sell out to get those views because your numbers were slowing down last week?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you stick true and keep like pumping out the same content, right?
Yeah, it definitely is a very, not a tough situation, but like sometimes TikTok is like amazing and it's helping you out. And then other times you just feel like you're getting like beaten down by it because you think that like, oh, they're not seeing my video. None of my fans are seeing my videos. Is it on me? Is it on the app? Is it on the algorithm? Like you truly will never know.
Well, sometimes I feel like you can learn a little bit, right? Like sometimes you put a video like, okay, this one, I used a good hook. Like you did something good in the middle and then you ended it properly or whatever. Like, I don't know your formula and what you do.
Yeah.
But there's so many times I'm like, hey, this one I'm using an educated guess that this is going to do well. Other ones you're just like, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
Right.
But it's tricky. Do you see? Well, are you following what's happening to TikTok in the States?
I have seen a little bit. I've been like on tour, so I haven't really dived in. I saw the CEO of TikTok in like the press conference with the guy who was asking him about like, oh, if TikTok is connected to my Wi-Fi network, will TikTok have access to every device? And the guy, like the CEO was like,
what
are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's all I've seen, though.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
really know anything
long
else.
story short. Basically, it's a bunch of like old men that have no idea what TikTok even is.
Exactly.
And like the CEO, they didn't even let him talk. But it might get banned in the States now, which is like crazy.
Yeah, but they said they would do that.
I don't think so. Do you?
I don't think so.
No.
And
It's
I mean,
too big. There's too many people on it.
Exactly. There's like, this is the biggest one of the biggest social media platforms in the world.
I think it is the biggest.
I think it is,
I think TikTok's literally number one.
Yeah, they have like over like 250,000 users or billion.
Yeah.
250,000,000.
I think it's over
least.
that. I think
Maybe.
in the
Half a-
States, there are like 100 million alone. Damn. I don't know.
See how many users.
See, this
are
is
on
where I need
TikTok.
Danny. So Danny's usually kind of
She'll-
like
yeah,
off screen.
She would have been
And like she's already Googling
Right,
it, just
she's already-
like, oh yeah, by the way, there's like 250 million. Yeah, she was right. Or Rick, and she loves to call me out when I'm wrong too.
oh.
I just want to say, I don't think they can ban it. I think it's like a third of the world population's on it.
Yeah.
It's like 200 billion or something.
Has
sorry,
over 1 billion users.
1 billion users. Okay,
That's
there you go.
crazy.
Yeah, I said 200 billion. Not even 200 billion people. Okay. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get banned, but if it does, whatever.
We're gonna have to adapt.
Yeah, and it's
You
like
know?
again, Instagram Reels and all those other things. too.
Everything's they're all, but see, like they're all following TikTok's
TikTok.
formula. TikTok was like,
Wait, let me ask you: did you like the old Instagram better or the new Instagram better? Like the old one where it was all pictures and like highlights of people's lives, or the new TikTok where it's like Reels and fake TikTok?
I definitely when Instagram, I don't mind it.
You're like 23, 22. Okay.
So like, I remember when they started putting Reels, I was like, oh, that's cool. I can post like longer videos and like vertical and like maybe reach a new audience, but still keeping what makes Instagram, like the photos and the scrolling. But it was when they changed their like their app, what do you call it? Like just like the way it looks, and it
The
was like you
interface,
would
yeah.
the interface, that's exactly what I was looking for. And when you would scroll, like it wouldn't be the picture with like the text, like the caption and the comments. It was like taking up the full screen or something, or you'd swipe and it would like lock onto the picture. I remember everyone hating it, and they changed it back.
Yeah, they changed it back now, but again, it's still like promoting videos. It's
Yeah,
like-
it's
I miss the days when Twitter was just a texting like 150 character app. Instagram was photos. Whatever. Snapchat was for whatever Snapchat's for.
talking privately to your friends.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, now there's like TV shows being made on Snapchat. It's crazy.
well, even like TikTok too. Now it's like they're promoting 10-minute long videos or whatever.
I find that hilarious because TikTok was the app to go to watch 5-second videos and not pay attention
10,
to
15
anything.
seconds, and you
But
swipe
then-
in 10 minutes. You've watched 100.
Exactly. But now people are like, we want longer videos, or like we want to be able to post longer videos, to watch longer videos, but then you post longer videos and no one watches them. It's like a weird.
I feel like it's a constant struggle. Almost.
It is.
Like
it's
a constant
definitely.
battle
It's
trying to
never
figure
black
it
and
out.
white. It's never like, oh, this is gonna work and that's not, and this is why we did this or chose to do this. But I think going back to Instagram, I do think Reels are more consistent than TikTok.
Okay, why is
My
that?
views are much more consistent on my Reels, and like I'll be getting like 50 to 80 to 100,000 views on every reel, and I have 167,000 followers on Instagram. And as of recently, I have like 1.5 million followers on TikTok, and my videos won't even crack 10K views in a week. And my content, I'm not like saying it's the best I've ever created.
But you're consistent.
I'm trying to be. It's really hard on tour. I'm trying to post once a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't. But it's still like 1.5 million followers to not even getting 10,000 views.
So let me ask you: do you think it's because on Instagram we all scroll through our feed? Where, I don't know about you. I'm never on the explore page on Instagram, like ever. Like unless I'm searching for something. If
exactly.
I'm like, I need a new pair of Nikes. Okay,
Yeah.
Nike, white shoes, whatever. TikTok, I don't think I ever go to the following section. I'm always on the For You page.
That's what also at the same time makes TikTok great.
Yeah.
Because that's how do you discover people you didn't know. But it's when TikTok is like, oh, well, I'm not going to put your video on the For You page or your
like, fuck you,
videos on the For You
yeah.
page for like a month.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Feel like, I'm not saying feel worthless and feel like your content is crap, but
Basically,
it's
what
kind
you
of
said.
hard
No,
not
yeah.
to think that way.
It's tough because they give you that like dopamine and that like high early on. I
Yeah.
think anyone who's ever downloaded TikTok and posted 100 videos has one video that hit like 50K.
At least, yeah.
So they get that dopamine, you get that high, and then everyone says, "Oh, like it's easy to go viral." Okay, well do it consistently.
Right.
Everyone can get one, but it's tough to do it over the long period of time.
Yeah.
Like there's months you go and you're just killing it. Every video's hitting 100K.
And
every
then
video's
you're
going
in a
viral.
slump. Exactly.
And then boom, you hit a month where it's like, hey, I didn't post consistently. I wasn't engaging with other people.
Yeah.
And you're not cracking 10K. You're like,
No.
what? It's the exact same content.
Exactly.
Do you ever have a couple in the vault where you know will go viral?
Right now, no, because I've just been on tour.
Yeah,
like that's also the other hard thing is that like I want to live in this moment of the tour and be present, but I can't not post on social media. I need to keep promoting my music. I need to keep
part of the job,
I keep my name in people's mouths, you know, and the only way is being consistent. But it's hard to balance everything at once. You know, like running your social media. I'm not saying it's a full-time job, but like
there are people who will argue that it is a full-time job.
It is, you know, and like if you're doing that, but then also on a 5.5 week long tour and you're living on a bus with 10 people and you don't have a space to record a TikTok or a space, even a quiet moment to like pick up your guitar and play it, because then you're in sound check and then you're in the green room, which you're sharing with 10 people. You know, like it's been really hard, and I just wanted to be on the tour and that's it, but like I can't just think about that.
Is this your first like real tour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, you want to enjoy it, and
exactly, and like the people that I'm with are amazing. Like they're such a good crew. Like I'm happier than I've been. Like yeah, tour has been awesome, and I wanted to, but then like, oh, you got to post on TikTok, and then I do, and they get no views, so like it just doesn't make me want to post more. But I know like you can't fall into that
trap.
Oh, exactly, because the way to get out of it is to be consistent with high quality content.
Yeah, it's
like a vicious circle.
Yeah, it's tough because I completely see what you're saying. Like even, again, I'm not even in your league in terms of like TikTok or anything, but like you want to be in the summertime. Like I hate posting in the summer. I'd rather just be out and about with my friends, drinking, having a good time, like doing other things.
Yep.
And I don't want to sit and I do a lot of car talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go back into my car to just or like get ready with me. It's like, no, I want to get ready in 5 minutes so I can go out and meet my friends. I don't want to sit and do this.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter, it's a little different because you got nothing better to do. But then again, the lighting's bad. It's like,
tell me about it.
Yeah, that's this little contraption actually worked out for me.
Yeah.
What's it? Okay, well, I feel like we'll get off to TikTok, go back to music. What's that? What's the tour been like? Highs, lows?
I honestly was kind of nervous going into it because last summer 2022 I like traveled the most I had ever traveled in like a span of time, and I was like, you know, like
for music or for pleasure?
For music.
Okay.
Like yeah, I remember I was in LA, and then I had just I moved to LA. I'm doing air quotes. No one can see me doing that. Well, unless they can. I like started my move in June. I signed a lease. But I still wasn't.
Wait, did you have a visa when you did it, or?
I did not. That's
okay,
why.
So
that's
why it's an air quote.
You know, exactly.
Part time.
Exactly. So I had just like got my place with my roommate, and then that was like June 1st, and then June 23rd I was back home rehearsing for the jazz festival in Montreal, which I was about to play. And then we rehearsed for like 10 days straight, played 2 shows, and then I flew to the UK to play a festival. And then I flew to Germany in between to do some promo stuff, like kind of what we're doing right now. Then flew to Paris for a show, flew back to LA like after an 11-hour flight, and then flew to San Fran the next day. Like it was like the most condensed part of like travel that I have ever done, and it like severely affected my mental health because I just felt so like unsettled living out of a suitcase. And like I was with people I really trusted and that I felt very safe with, but like I just like a lot of stuff, like I just didn't feel grounded. I felt so lost, and I was like in a different hotel room every 2 days, and like I'm a huge homebody and I like to be in my space and like have a routine, and not having that was like very hard on me, and it took me a lot of time to like recover and like just get back into like my normal way of living. And after that, everything was fine. You know, I went to Asia, I went home, and it was getting like easier to do. So I'm like, but doing this long tour after that had really affected me, being gone that long a year ago, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect.
Of course, it would be nerve-wracking.
Right. And then I started it, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Because, yeah, we're changing cities every 2 days, but we're on a bus So like that bus is
home.
my little home for now, you know? So like we come back to the bus, all our stuff's in the bus. You have your bunk, you have your space, you know, it's not like having your own room in your house, but like it's still, it had that effect on me. And then the people that I'm with are also amazing, and playing live shows every 2 days, and like that's your job. You play a 30-minute set. I get to watch Jake's show every night, or every night that we play, and it's just been like I never want the tour to end. And I'm so glad to hear myself say that, considering how I had no idea how it was going to go before it started.
When you did, like, even before you were talking, like, air quotes on recovery, your recovery before, because it was tough. It's not even air quotes. It is whenever you're not in your, like, routine, or you're not doing something that you're consistently doing, it's so tough on you. Like, not just, like, mentally and physically. It's just so exhausting on you because you're not in that routine. You're not in your safe space. You're not doing the things that you normally do. Yeah, you could be doing what you love with people you love, but again, if you're not, it's not home. And that's why even like you're on a bus, like you said, at least you have your bunk, you got your space. Again, it's not much, but that's your space.
It does the job.
Every night you put your head on your pillow, you got your little space.
And that definitely has helped. I think if we were like driving between hotel rooms and just like staying in hotel rooms every night, I think that would have been crazier, because like you
check in, check out.
Exactly. That's all you do. You bring your suitcase up, you bring your suitcase down. Like we keep our suitcases like under the bus. So if you just got to get something, you just go right out, grab it, back in. And I think that's really had a positive, or has made me have a more positive outlook than I maybe would have expected on the tour. And it makes me excited for future tours. Every tour is different. Depends on who you go with. Depends where you're going. Depends if are you in a bus, you in hotel rooms, are you flying, like. But I feel like for my first full-length tour, I couldn't have asked for like better circumstances.
That's amazing. What's been the highlight of the tour so far? Because you're what, halfway through?
We're more than halfway through. We finish on April 13th, and we started Feb 24th.
Oh, so yeah, you're definitely more than halfway through.
I'm honestly sad. I don't want it to end. But I think a highlight that sticks out to me was in Columbus. And, you know, I know,
Columbus.
right? Yeah. I didn't expect much. And also because people coming to the shows a lot of the time don't know me beforehand. And I remember I sang Landslide, and, like, they clapped. But then, like, they kept clapping. Like, they went past the clap, 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 done, introduced the next song. Like, they just kept going. And, like, that was the first time that I had, like, they had cheered that long. I think, like, I don't want to say ever, but it was, like, it felt long to me, like the time that they were applauding. And I just remember being like, I got butterflies, you know, like it was just like all these people are like so genuinely happy and moved by my song that they clapped for like, I don't know, like 20 seconds. 20 seconds is a long time if you count it out.
Man, think about when you're like not doing anything.
20 seconds is like 1, 2, I'm not going to count it, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know.
And that really stuck out to me. I remember feeling just like genuine elation.
And in Columbus, of all places.
And in Columbus, like, no hate to Columbus. I was just saying, like, LA, you know, I would have, like, LA was a big room. It was, like, was it, like, 1,200 people, 1,000 people? And that's hard because it's just me and my guitarist. So we're just two people trying to, like, fill these spaces. And sometimes it's cool because the venues are quaint. Like, also something that's cool about this tour is that we're playing drastically differently sized venues. So, like, you know, we played the Belasco in LA, which is... the cap, I think, is 15. We played like an 800 or 1,000 cap room in Denver. And then in Salt Lake City, we played like a 200 cap room in this tiny shack. But every show has like these amazing moments that you're like, oh, in a big ass theater, that wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have felt like right next to the audience because we literally were, you know? So it's been really great.
Well, do you prefer the small or the big venues? Like, I love asking people this question.
They each have their own charm because like, it depends who's at the venue. If you're in a small venue and everyone's just kind of like, meh, that's it. But if you're in a small venue with people who are genuinely excited and happy to be there, you feel it. And you feel it close up because, like, the venue's small. But, like, same thing with a bigger venue. If you're 1,000 people who are like, well, I'm listening to the show, it's great. Cool. But if you're in 1,000 people who are genuinely, like, pumped, and that is, like, one of the best feelings ever.
Yeah, I would agree.
So it's...
the crowd can make a show.
Definitely.
Like, obviously the performers... You guys are the main act.
They make a huge difference.
When the crowd is good, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Every night I get off, or every night that I play, I get off, and I usually tell Jake and the crew, I'm like, if the audience is like feeling really good and real, I'm like, the audience is great. Like I tell them, and I mean, I've never gotten off stage and been like, damn, that audience sucked. You know, it's
But there's times you didn't get off and like,
correct. Yeah. You know,
you just got off and carried on.
exactly. I was like, that was good. I enjoyed my time on stage. You know,
I love doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Days you get off,
And
you're
that's
like, wow,
it.
that was amazing. I wish I didn't get off.
Exactly.
What's I love asking artists this. What's your favorite dream? Like, what's your dream venue? Favorite art venue to play? Actually, not favorite art venue to play. Dream venue to play.
Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
It's a big one. It's like a giant
30,000.
Yeah.
It's like the Mecca too, right?
The what?
It's like the Mecca of music, right?
Yeah,
Like
and I
everybody's
mean,
played
like,
there.
just because Billy Joel sells it out, like, until he's gonna die, because he literally says he won't stop. Like, and he'll keep playing until he sells out, which he
Didn't
always
someone
does.
just do like 10 shows there this year, back to back to back to back to back, or someone?
Maybe.
Harry Styles.
Oh yeah,
Madison Square Garden. I think he did like 10 shows or something.
that's so. Yeah, and then he did like 10 shows in L.A.
Yeah.
That venue's just so. It's iconic, you know. Or
Have you
like
been?
Radio
Have
City
you been,
Music
though?
Hall. No, I've never been.
You never been to?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I've never been inside. I like walked by it.
Walk by. Okay.
But I mean, I've performed in some pretty crazy, like the Belasco is an amazing venue
I've never
in
even
LA.
heard of that.
It's like it's very big. You know, like very tall ceilings, has like a balcony with like tiered seats, a
Okay.
standing room. Actually, it's Be Real. Do you want to be my Be Real right now?
Why do you like Be Real? I can't get behind it.
I just think it's fun.
I
'Cause
try.
then
I
people
downloaded
can-
it for a month, and I
And
I
you're
use it
like-
every day for a month, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't want to see what people are doing right now. I want to see a highlight of people's lives, or a low
Then
like.
stick to Instagram.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I've been doing.
Be Real is about like. I mean, I'm not always like. I don't
Everybody
always
does
post
it,
it.
like nobody really does it on time anyway. And everyone's like, oh, let's get a kind of good one.
Are you ready? Slay. I just think it's fun to see like what my friends are doing.
That's fair. And this is
But-
the generation gap between us. Like we're a decade apart, right? So I guess I'm
This is
aging myself
My
a little bit
background
here.
picture is at the Belasco.
Okay.
So like you can kind of like, I mean, I could show you that picture without like the timestamp in it, but like that was a really fire venue to play. We played this. I don't know if you've ever heard of Meow Wolf. So it's like I think there's two of them. There's one in San Diego and one in Denver. And in Denver, it's like an interactive museum with like art everywhere, but they also have this giant room venue, like has a stage, and there's projections on the ceilings, the floors, the walls, and like a lot of it's interactive. Like if you walk, like light will follow you or something.
Gotcha.
You know, that kind of thing. And playing there was like, I've never played in a venue like that before.
That'd be crazy.
It was crazy.
What's your favorite venue you've been to as a guest, not as like not performing?
Where have I been? Oh, the Troubadour in LA. Iconic venue.
I was supposed to go there when I was there recently, and I never did.
Yeah, like you know what, actually, Madison Square Garden's like crazy out of this like world dream that I have, but like the Troubadour is very accessible, but something like a place that I wanted to play for a really long time. And I'm sure I'll be able to play it soon. It's just like one of those iconic LA venues that like it's not the
It's
biggest.
like the comedy club for
It's
comedians or
exactly.
something. Yeah,
It's
I
not
gotcha.
the most glamorous, but like it has this charm about it.
Yeah. I love that. You're off to, so once this tour's done, you're going to another one this summer, correct?
Like 2 weeks after, so like
So spring,
end of
summer, yeah.
April, beginning
European
of May.
tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited for that? Well, obviously you're excited.
I'm really excited to just see how different it is from this tour, because like obviously Jake and Joshua are two very different artists with two very different fan
Crowds, yeah.
bases, which I think is just going to be cool, because I feel like I could insert myself into both of those. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how it just like, I don't want to say measures up because I'm not trying to compare them, but I just want to see like how different it is, you know?
Well, you mentioned you were in, was it Germany last year?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going back, you're doing a whole bunch of different places in Europe.
Yeah.
What's the city you're most excited for?
Probably Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been to the
No?
Netherlands.
It's great.
It's beautiful.
You
And
need to,
springtime
again, you just have to
with
get
the
a bike. Yeah, you have to
flowers.
get a bike and just
Ugh.
do you have like, do you have time in it or no? Do you have like, are you?
I'm not sure. Actually, we just got routing like not too long ago. I'm not gonna pull it up right now
Yeah,
because I would be like looking through my million group chats to try to find which one they sent the routing in. But we'll probably have like a day, you know, which is definitely not enough time. But I have no doubt I'll be back there soon.
It's Netherlands is, or especially Amsterdam, Holland, whatever, wherever the official name is.
Yeah.
Is one of the coolest cities in Europe.
Ooh, I'm
Like you rent a
excited.
bike or just get a bike and just bike for hours.
Sounds
Hours.
awesome.
Food's good. People are nice. And then you have to go to the red light district. It's like nothing you've ever seen in your entire life before.
How is it?
Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
I don't know if I can. Fuck it. I'm on my own podcast anymore, so I can
You're
say whatever I
right.
want.
You can do it.
So usually we don't talk about sex on the podcast.
Oh my God, we're breaking the sex rule.
The red light district is the sex district, right?
I feel like I've heard about that
You can
before.
literally, like, you walk through and it's very, like, you can't miss it. It's like literally red lights everywhere.
Yeah.
And prostitution is legal in Amsterdam too. So like you
Gotcha.
can literally, there's women in windows, and I think they have men too. It's not just a woman's
Just
thing.
for everyone.
And you can just pick who you want, pay, and go, and you're good. It's
I mean,
it's one of the craziest things, and like you could literally watch people have sex too.
So it's funny that you say that, because we were just talking, me and a couple of people in Jake's crew. One of the guys, Jacob, he went to a strip club in Greece like a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And he just said it was very different from like ones in the US, how European, like you would go and you literally watch two people have sex with each other on the stage. And everyone would just be like, oh, chilling, talking, like it's a very normal thing. And it's just kind of crazy to see how different,
Oh yeah.
you know, and how for them it's like, yeah, cool, normal.
I'll tell you
whatever.
another story off air because this one I can't tell on air. The Universal people get mad at me or something. But no, Europe is amazing, especially when you're going in spring, summer, and you're playing Mad Cool Festival.
Yeah.
That's insane.
In Madrid in the summer?
Like, what's that? Early July, I think.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick Lamar's on it in 1975.
Yeah.
Rufus.
I think I'm
Ellie
playing
Goulding
like
or something.
I think I'm playing at the same, or I'm playing the same day as in 1975.
Yeah,
so I'll
yeah,
be
you
like,
are the first day. Yeah,
Maddie, where are
it's
you
crazy.
at? You wanna
It's
hang out?
amazing. I love traveling to, like, especially for Europe for music festivals. I travel for music in general. I'm like a music lover. And I went to Zurich, Switzerland, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw a music festival called Open Air.
Nice.
And similar kind of
Open Air's
vibes. So,
cool.
yeah, it was so amazing. So the fact that you get to play one is just insane.
I'm also playing the Montreal Jazz Festival in Switzerland,
Okay.
which is like iconic. Like
that-
all the great musicians have passed through there.
I'm not gonna lie. Prior to this, I didn't know
Mhm.
much about jazz.
That's okay.
Yeah, I just I've been googling.
As long
it,
as you're
though,
up to learning about it.
Yeah. Well,
Open
again, you
your
have to learn a couple things,
horizons.
right?
Yeah.
And even your music, I know technically it's jazz, but I feel like it's like more poppy than jazz.
It's definitely pop music
Yeah.
as a whole. Like if you would ask like a musicologist to like say what overall style is this, they would say pop, and that's right. But I think what maybe sets my pop music apart from other ones is like just like the little jazz Easter eggs and like theory that I put into this music, that if musicians are listening, they're like, whoa, like that's kind of cool what they did there. Like that's a cool little thing. But also regular people are just like, this is a cool song and it has a good hook and I like it, you know? Like,
That's like me.
right, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I feel like I just really appreciate all the knowledge like that I learned about jazz and how to like use it, that I just want to use it in everything.
Did I read somewhere that you studied music in college?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you
Yeah.
go to school?
So I did a 3-year CJEP program in jazz interpretation. I don't know if you know. So CJEP is like just a Quebec thing. You go
Okay.
there after high school. You can do a 2 or 3 year program.
And sorry,
then
what
you
was
go
it called?
on
CJAP?
CJEP. So like CEGEP. It stands for like Center of Education of Just, like it stands for something.
Okay, cool.
And basically out of high school you go there. Like everyone in Quebec is like, oh, very normal, and yet nowhere else in the world does that. So after high school I did a 3-year program, which is like a year longer than like the base program, in jazz interpretation. So that's where I learned all like my jazz theory. That's when I learned how to like to play with a band for the first time and like record in a studio for the first time and do arrangements and like even learn music on the computer. Like we started learning Ableton as a class, like we had to take. It's a music software. And I did those 3 years and I loved it. I learned basically everything that I know now I learned there. And then I went on to university in the same program. So I was still doing jazz. But I only got halfway through my bachelor's degree before I stopped to like try to pursue music as a career. And then as soon as I finished my semester, 2 weeks later, the open verse challenge went up and then everything changed. So
it's crazy how fast everything happened.
Tell me about it.
Like, well,
Like, I had done more in a couple months than I had done in the past like 3 years at the top of last year. Like, it was so crazy. I had never traveled that much. I had never had that many Zoom calls. I had never talked to that many important people before. It was crazy.
And that's, again, like, kind of bringing it back. That's the power of social media, right? And like, you're one of the best examples of that. Like, even before we'd met now, I knew that song from TikTok. Yeah. Not saying like I was like following you or something, but again, you recognize it, right? I saw your name. I was like, oh, wait. And it's so crazy. I know we're on a little bit of time crunch. Before we wrap up, I know you have the Montreal show coming up. Is that special to you? Because it's kind of like, it's not a hometown, but it's kind of a hometown show.
It's like, yeah, I consider Montreal my hometown just because like I grew up right outside of it and I went to school in Montreal. So like a lot of my friends live there. I'm really excited to be able to go there with this crew because like I get to kind of be like, hey, I'm home. Like, let me show you the spots. Like, let me take you to the good spots to eat, you know, and just like, hey, this is where I
like smoked meat or something.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Like in this park for the first time, or I just think it's gonna feel really good. And I haven't seen my parents in a while, so I'm really excited to see them. And I think the bus is actually like driving right by my like hometown before going, because like we're coming from the west. So we're basically driving right by, because I'm like that town right before you get on the island of Montreal. Yeah. So like I think they're just going to drop me off. My parents are going to like come pick me up at like McDonald's or something.
That'll be the best meal you've had in the last like 3 weeks.
I don't think I'm going to get McDonald's because my parents are going to, you know what?
They're going to cook something for you.
They're going to make all my favorite foods.
Yeah. Are you an only child?
No, I have a brother and sister. And they're both still living at home, and they're 27 and 28. So I was like the first one to be like, bye, I'm leaving.
To pursue music.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't have to move to the U.S. across the coast to do that. It definitely has made things much, much, much easier. Yeah. But at the same time has been very difficult, you know. But no, I'm super excited to go home, sleep in my own bed, you know, just talk to my parents, see them in person. And then play a show. And it's also really full circle kind of, because when I did that short headline run last summer, I did like New York, Montreal, LA. The venue that we played in Montreal is the same venue that we're playing.
So it is a full circle moment.
It kind of is, you know, like I played a headline show there, now I'm opening for someone there. Like, it's just cool. I'm excited that I get to be back. And like the venue's not anything like spectacular or special, but like, you know, it holds some kind of sentimental value.
Yeah, of course. And then, we'll wrap up. You have the show tomorrow. Oh, I guess this will come out after the show's
Well, done. I mean, tomorrow, what's the date today?
Today's the 29th?
The 29th. So I do have the show tomorrow if today's the 29th, which it won't be when people are listening to this.
That's okay. So Opera House, right?
Yes.
Have you ever played there?
I haven't.
Have you played in Toronto?
I have not.
Oh,
it's like my second time being in Toronto my whole life.
Really?
Which is so weird.
Yeah, literally down the 401.
I know, I literally lived like next door for 22 years. I know.
Well, anyways, I wish you all the best in that show. I might come check it out. I don't know if maybe the Universal people will set me up. But
I'm sure we can arrange something.
They're good to me.
Cool.
But I wish you all the best of success in the upcoming year. Good luck in Europe this summer. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Bye.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain. And I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high.